Okay, I have literally filmed this 3 times because I do not like how I am filming this. Haven't filmed a booktube video in ages, right? So we're getting back into it. These are all the books I've read this month so far, which are 10. I'm in the middle of 3, so it might even be 13. So far, these are the 3 books I'm in the middle of. I'm in the middle of Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Pride and Prejudice. I probably won't finish this one until next month anyway. By Jane Austen, and the Zodiac Academy Book 2. I want to get straight into it. So my New Year's resolution is to read 5 fiction a month and 1 non-fiction book, which obviously we have smashed with the fiction area. Non-fiction, we've actually kept it. I want to start off by the first book. So the first book is, this one I actually finished on New Year's. I also have a book with me just so I can take notes and read what I wrote about the book. We have A Court of Thorns and Roses. We've brought the first book. Some lovely people, which we'll talk about in the next video, actually brought me the other 2 in the series for my birthday, which is really nice. Also, by the way, my birthday was not too long ago. It was like 2 days ago. Whoa. Let's talk about it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I actually really liked it. I know a lot of people probably gave it like a 4, but I am pretty basic, right? If I like a book so much, I'll give it a 5-star. Most of the time it's 4, but I'm not very picky about my books, and I don't need it to be a certain way. If I enjoy it, if I liked it, if it gave me, if I kicked my feet giggling in it, and if I just really love the characters, I'm just going to give it a 5. The writing can be terrible, right? Because if I enjoy the characters and the tropes and everything in the magic world and everything around it, I do not care if the writing is bad, right? As long as it's not like horrific. There are plenty of Wattpad books I read in my days that I loved, and the writing was fucking shit because it was made by 13-year-olds. But I love just the drama and shit, so like I can't complain. I thought it was like a little bit boring, right? I kind of wish it was a bit more like fast-paced, but it did really pick up during like the halfway through the book when the trials actually started, so I can't really complain because I actually really enjoyed the trials. I really loved the worm scenes where she's running away from a blind worm. I think worms are blind anyway, so I don't know why I said running away. But I really enjoyed it. I really loved Rhysand, especially with the trial scenes where we actually got to know him a bit better, and it wasn't just like him having issues with Timon. I just liked the sort of tension that it sort of gave. I think I'm gonna butcher it. I feel like I'm gonna butcher the main character's name because I cannot pronounce certain words. Let me actually Google. Feyre. Okay, this is how I'm supposed to pronounce the name. Feyre. Okay, so we got Feyre, who I actually really like the tension between Feyre and Rhysand. I actually really liked it, to be fair. I thought it was well deserved, and I thought everything was pretty good and pretty chill. I thought Tamlin was like pretty good at the start, but just throughout the series, I don't know why, I just got really bad feeling. And I think with the added tension between Rhysand and Feyre, I had a feeling that the author, something's not right is going to happen with Tamlin. I feel like he's just something's off about him. And it's kind of, when you read a lot of books, you can sort of see it with where the author is pivoting, and where there's tension with characters. You can sort of sometimes tell. So I have a feeling that Tamlin's going to be something's off about him. And I'm not going to lie, I also have a bias against blonde hair guys with long hair. And I kind of like the more broody Rhysand sort of characters, so maybe it's a bias that's sort of leading me in that direction, but we'll see. The next book I read was The Cruel Prince, which I will be giving a 4 out of 5 stars. I actually really liked it. I think the only issue I really didn't like is how, although I love the characters, I love the characters. I love Jude. I think his name's Cardan. I love the little knife scene at the end with Jude and Cardan. I was like, geez, you're getting a little too aggressive, Jude, but I'm pretty sure Cardan's enjoying it himself too. And so I was like, I'm really enjoying it. The only reason why it's not a 5-star is, one, I didn't like the apple scene. That's just personally my preference. I thought it was a little too intense for my liking, which is sort of weird. Which also sucked because, it's a really, I don't know. I like the book. Sometimes I can wish I erased the apple scene out of my head, but I also felt like it was kind of necessary as well for the book and sort of characters and the progression, so I can't really be like, oh, it shouldn't be in there. I feel like it was probably a huge turning point for Jude herself as well, so I I feel like it was sort of necessary. And I also felt like it was a little bit boring because, like, it's not supposed to be, like, action-packed, right? It's not supposed to be constantly having action or romance and stuff like that. It's obviously world building, which I'm assuming is basically, it's going to be more action-packed in the following books in the series. I feel like the first book was literally just world building, so I don't really want to complain about it like being boring because I have a feeling it's just world building. I just kind of wish there was a little bit more action to it, which is what we got at the end of the book, which actually I really enjoyed. I love the betrayal at the end. I wonder how that's going to turn out for Jude though in book 2, so I'm kind of excited. I haven't read book 2 yet either. And these are all books I've read at the start of the year, so at the start of the month, and I still haven't picked up the second books from The Court of Thorns and Roses or The Cruel Prince, so honestly it's kind of a surprise. I just really like the betrayal that Jude did to Cardan and also her, I guess, father, you could call him. I can't remember his name. But I actually really liked it. I really liked how she's a really strong female character and how she literally poisoned herself little by little every day so she could be more, I guess, resistant to poison. I thought that was so badass. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I wonder if that's going to help her down the track in the following books. So, like, I'm actually pretty excited for that. The next book I read was literally a 6-book series, and it was called The Infected City. Like, that's the series name. I give it overall like 3 out of 5 stars. I think the first one I gave 4 stars out of 5, but the rest were just 3, so I'll just give it a 3 out of 5 stars for the entire series. Not that I didn't enjoy it, right? But it also wasn't terrible either. Like, it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible either. And I'm always a sucker for apocalyptic books, and usually if they have drama and stuff like that, I'm not too picky if they need to be good or not. Especially if they're zombie ones, because I just love the zombie genre in general. So, like, I feel like they don't need to be so specific and, like, amazing. So let's do some talking points. The thing I also really liked about the series is it was short. I'm pretty sure the most the book had was like 180 pages. The rest were all shorter than that. And so there were 6 books, so I read around like 830 pages in that entire 6-book series. So, like, I actually really enjoyed it because it was a lot easier to just finish those books and get through them. And I could usually finish 2 in a day. So it only took me like 3 days to finish, which I really enjoyed. I liked the flow pace. One of the things I didn't like is that they didn't kill Ben earlier. I didn't like Ben. He was like my arch nemesis. And I feel like if you read the series, you will also hate Ben. He is so incredibly selfish and I wish he died earlier. But at the same time, life is never like that. So I feel like he would also survive that long. I just wish that he ended up dying sooner. Like he was such a horrific one. Like, I wish he wasn't a character in the book, but then he's also a realistic character of something that would actually happen during the apocalypse. So I feel like he is sort of necessary to be there, but at the same time, I also don't want to be reading that at the same time. Does that make sense? I really like the characters. I really liked Heather and Abby, and I'm really sad about the ending for those two. Like, I'm devastated. Like, it sucks. I love James. I'm also really upset about, I forgot her name. I feel bad. Like, she was one of my favorite characters. I thought she was such a badass and I forgot her name. Mostly I think it's because it wasn't her point of view and she was just a side character in James' story, but I loved her. Like, I can't even remember her name. I don't even know if I'll add the name in here, but if you read the series, you'll know which one I'm talking about. Really loved her. And I loved how it was not like a duo point of view. It was like a point of view from like 5 different characters throughout the series, and it was really nice. Instead of it being in one single point of view that you see in a lot of zombie movies, it was in 5, which was actually pretty good written, and I really enjoyed it, to be fair. So I can't really complain. So I'm just gonna like review that as like a whole instead of just individually going through each book because I don't really feel the need to do that. Maybe I should. If people want me to, I will. Okay, the next book I read was The Enneagram. That is my non-fiction book. I'm not really too strict about it being non-fiction. As long as it's not a fiction book, I'll read it. So it can be self-help, it can be science, it can be history, it can be literally anything as long as it's not fiction. I think, okay, so I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And I don't really see the point in giving, like, non-fiction books a rating because, well, I just gave it 1 for you guys, but I just don't really see the point in it. I thought it was a really good book. It was basically talking about the personality types, and you know how they always did those ones back in high school? This one is a smaller one where it just talks about 9 points and 9 personalities that everyone has. It's called the Enneagram, and I think I'm either a 2 or a 6. That's a counterphobic 6 that shows traits of 8, and I feel like this is a really good book because if you read it, you can probably like self-improve and self-help yourself throughout the year, which I think would be very beneficial for everyone. You can sort of feel where your weaknesses and your like strengths are and sort of work on them. So the last one that I am going to talk about is literally the Zodiac Academy. That one was a 5 out of 5 star reads. Like, that was so good. Is the writing great? It's not the greatest, but as I said, I'm a basic person. The writing does not need to be good for me to enjoy it and give it 5 stars. Like, I am pretty basic. If I enjoy the characters, if I enjoy the tropes, if I enjoy the drama and the writing style, I will give it a 5 stars. As long as the writing's not horrendous. I literally grew up on Wattpad, right? Wattpad, where literally you had 13-year-olds writing stories that got like 4 million views, right? And their writing was horrendous, right? So like, this is like published writing, so this is like a few steps up for me. So like, I'm fine with it being terrible, because the ones on Wattpad I read, they were horrific. So good, but like horrific. I thought the bullying in this book was like a little intense for me. The only downfalls for this book that I really didn't like is the writing wasn't that great, but as I said, it's a few steps up from Wattpad, so I can't complain. I'm not going to be too picky. But I also didn't like the bullying, but it also kind of reminded me of Wattpad bullying, like how intense it got. I was like, Jesus, I feel like I'm a 13-year-old me again reading Wattpad. This is what the book feels like. I'm reading Wattpad. And maybe that's what I like about it. Like, I feel like it's like a professional, like, published version of like a Wattpad story, and I love it. I love it. Like, I inhaled this book. Like, I finished it in like 6 hours. Like, I was inhaling it. So good. I love the twins. I thought they were so badass, and I loved getting the dual points of view between the two twins, because I was like, sometimes I feel like it's a little like depressing just reading it from one person's point of view, but when you get like 2 different people and you can clearly see the differences in how they talk and how they obviously interact. Love Tori, love Darcy, love Tori a little bit more. She's a little bit more feisty, a little more badass, so I love that. And honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest here, I am like a whore for stereotypical like types, like tropes I mean. So like, I loved the tropes within this book. I don't know how close they are to actual zodiac signs, because I do not believe in like the horoscope and stuff like that and like zodiac. So like, I don't know how close they are, and I don't read that. So I would love to see like how much of a Libra the professor is, or how much of a Leo that fire breathing dude is. You know what I mean? I don't really like, same with the Geminis. The twins are Geminis. I would love to see what they're like. Like, are they true to their trope? Is this what the author did? Like, they stuck their personality to what the zodiac like believers believe in? Like, is this like, how close is this related to the actual like beliefs of zodiacs? Because honestly, I really enjoyed it. Like, I loved just like the tropes in this. I do want to kick Seth though in the face though. Like, these people, the only difference is, I feel like if I was in their position, I would be training day and night with my power so I could overtake the heirs. I would literally have so much rage, and I would literally not let them bully me down. So I would literally spend every waking hour just reading, studying, training, so I can beat them and throw their ass out in the pit. Bullying they did was so horrific. I couldn't believe that's why it threw me back in Wattpad, because I was like, geez, this is like stuff I read in Wattpad, like how horrific the bullying is. And I'm like, geez, like, I was like, oh my god. But loved it. Right? As I said, I'm a whore for stereotypical tropes, so like, I really enjoyed it. I can see where like the romance is going to head in. There is no romance really in this book. There is a little bit, but like, it's not really like romance, I would call it. It's a lot of tension between 2 characters. One character gets betrayed by someone that she was starting to like, but no like full like romance dating stuff, which is kind of what I like about it, because you can see the tension and you're like, geez, I finished the first book and no kisses or anything in the first book. Like, I was like, wow, where is this going? How much yawning, not yawning, how much, I forget the word. Anyway, how much just, can I get like a slither of like romance? Like, can I get some, right? I should also mention, there is a little bit of spice in this book, like very, very small. Like, it's like a teeny bit of spice. Like, it's one scene in the first book. I don't know how much it is in the rest of the series. I'm trying to think, is there any other spices in the books? Quartz and Thorns and Roses, I'm not going to be adding this to the thing, you're just getting it in this sort of section, did have a little bit of spice, but it wasn't like too severe. It was like the start of a scene in the spice, and then it would cut to the next day. So very little. Don't know about the rest of the series though, so we'll see. I said I wasn't going to add any new books I've read for the end of the month to this video, but I'm still going to, because I just finished Book Lovers. It was by Emily Henry. Um, a lovely person purchased this for my birthday on TikTok, and honestly I cannot be more grateful for them. I did an unboxing, like book one, in the next video that's coming out next week, talking about it, because I actually received quite a few books from everyone. It was so sweet of them. But I just inhaled like this book. It only took me 4 hours to finish this book, pushing on to 5 I think, and I like inhaled it. Like the first 40 pages were incredibly slow. Oh wait, I forgot to give it my rating. Okay, my rating is, I'm giving this 5 out of 5 stars. It's another 5-star. Like, I don't know why I was sort of questioning, like, I'm still sort of like a little bit on the fence on 5 stars, but I feel like this is definitely going to be a book that I really enjoyed, and I feel a lot of pressure with booktok to be more specific with my ratings, or like more picky, but I'm just a simple girl. I'm basic. If I like the book, I'm giving it 5 stars. So I liked it. 5 stars for this book. Honestly, I love the characters. I loved how dislikable like some of their traits were, and how as you got to know them you actually start to like them, because you're like, oh yeah, I get it, like I understand why she does it, she does this or she does that, or why she wants to be in control and stuff like that. Really loved Nora, really loved Charlie. Like I loved Charlie. God, my hair is doing this weird thing where it just doesn't want to sit. No, we'll just go like that. I just don't like that. Like, I feel like I look like these old men in these like books that are like always like, you know those Wattpad books where like you always have that one dude that's like slightly pervy with the main character, and I feel like when I have that one piece I kind of like look like those dudes, you know, like if I had like short hair. Sorry. Change back to the topic. There's not really much to say. I really liked it. I thought the chemistry between the two characters, especially within the first tension, like for me personally, the first 40 pages were slow. I was just like, come on, like I heard this is a really good author, like come on, let's get into it, let's get into the tension. And then around like just straight after that the tension started. Like straight after that, like their first like emails to each other about the Bigfoot, you know, like smut, that she messaged him, was like, well, I knew the tension was getting, like I knew I was gonna love Nora straight after that, because I was like, this is the stuff that I text my friends, except, you know, she's texting it to her future lover. Don't want to spoil the ending. I was so worried the ending was not going to be the way I wanted it to. Even though it was a romance book, I was so petrified, because with Nora she kept pulling away from Charlie and then getting upset that Charlie's pulling away because she pulled away first. Oh, someone's walking their dog. It's a cute doggo. But yeah, so it ended just the way I wanted it. I really liked it. It was sort of the way I wanted it to end anyway. Like, if you read the ending, you know, like when they were sort of pulling away, I was like, come on, like this is the ending. Like this is, like, why aren't you suggesting this, Nora? Why aren't you suggesting the ending? But no, I actually really liked it. You know, I liked the characters, I liked the ending, I felt really satisfied. I'm actually really excited for when I'm in my next position to buy more of her books. I'm going to be buying more of her books. I actually really loved Book Lovers. Like, it's, like, I just love the writing style, and I'm really excited to read her future books and her current books when I am in a position financially too. But yeah, that's it. Like, that's 11 books this year so far, which is kind of insane. Here's all the books that I have read this month. As I said, I'm in the middle of this. I just started it today. I'm about 100 pages in, so I'll probably finish that tonight. Maybe I'll add it to the end of this thing. As I said, I got a few other books that I need to read, so I guess we'll see until then. But if you like my videos, please do like, comment, subscribe. You know, I'm currently in a situation where I can't really buy any new books, so I do have an Amazon wishlist where people have been buying them. Do not feel pressured to, but if you do like my channel and you do want to support me, just buy me a simple book would be greatly appreciated. You don't have to, as I said. Hopefully soon I'll have a bookcase so I actually look like I read books and it's not just a plain screen. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. I do create booktok stuff on my booktok account. It's literally Ali Royal Reads. You can go check me out over there, and I hope you guys have a lovely day and a lovely night, and I hope to see you guys in another video. Okay, thank you. Bye.